Welcome back to Biafra News. Support Biafra, people of goodwill. Ada Biafra here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on where you're watching me from. Biafrans, I bring you another news and update. Still on the corruption going on in the world. EU is aware of the terrorism going on in Nigeria, the ethnic cleansing, the massacre going on in Nigeria, and the corruption going on in Nigeria, but they don't want to do anything. So Biafra Prime Minister posted this very update on his official X handle. Biafrans will keep putting the whole world on notice. They are aware of all these atrocities and they are turning blind eyes to it. Biafrans want to visit Nigeria and they are turning blind eyes to it. Feigning deaf ears, pretending not to know why we must want to visit that contraption. Nigeria is not a country. It's a business empire. And they are all benefiting from it. That is why they don't care about the people. That is why EU don't care about the lives of people in Nigeria. UN don't care. Because they are benefiting. As the terrorism continue, the more they benefit. They are even helping in sponsoring the terrorism. You will hear them giving Nigeria 100 million euro, 10 million euro, 20 million, 50 million euro. What are the money for? If not to sponsor the terrorism there so that they keep benefiting. The money they are giving is not even quarter of what they are getting from all the natural resources they are stealing. So here, Biafra Prime Minister said the EU resolution on Nigeria has revealed they are aware of the Islamic State terrorism in Nigeria, but yet pretend not to know the solution. Okay, before I continue, I would like to welcome all the new and old subscribers. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, please kindly click the red subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell right beside it to enable you get notification once I upload a new video. Don't forget to share, like, leave your comment at the comment section. So here, Biafrans, Biafra Prime Minister said, and I'm going to read the pictures of this resolution, motion for resolution he posted. Biafra Prime Minister continued, he said, the EU resolution on Nigeria has revealed they are aware of the Islamic State terrorism in Nigeria, but yet pretend not to know the solution. Expresses concern at the rising insecurity across the country, underlines the obligations of the Nigerian authorities to protect lives and their livelihoods, urge authorities to invest greater resource to ensure operations undertaken by security forces are conducted with the cooperation and trust of local communities, are effective in protecting the population, and are fully in line with the national and international human rights law. So here, this is coming from Biafra Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. These are coming from Biafra Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. And the here, motion of a resolution, as you can see on the screen, motion of resolution, European Parliament, motion for a resolution on the recent attack on Christmas Eve in a Plateau State in Nigeria. This was on 6th. This was published on 6th January 2024. And it says, with a request for inclusion in the agenda for a debate on cases of breaches of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. Pursuant to Rule 144 of the Rules of Procedure, it says motion for a European Parliament resolution on recent attack on Christmas Eve, having regard to its previous resolutions on Nigeria, having regard to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, having regard to Rule 144 of its Rule of Procedure, whereas on 24th December 2023, government launched a large-scale attack on more than 160 villages in the Bokos, Bakenladi, and the Magu authority areas of a Plateau State in north-central Nigeria, whereas the attacks resulted in 335 deaths. Did you hear that? And these people are pretending not to know why we want to exit Nigeria or turning blind eyes to our call for exit from that contraption. People are being slaughtered. People are being killed in their own villages, in their own communities, in their own land. Because few greedy politicians, or should I say, greedy Britain, want Nigeria to continue being one by all means. Is it by force? Is unity by force? No. People are being killed. So to make sure that Britain keeps keeping their backward business empire on, they are sponsoring terrorism against the innocent people in their own villages. This was on Christmas Eve. The same thing in Biafra land. We are being killed, terrorized. We are being killed in our own land. We are being marginalized in our own land. Unity is not by force. Britain wants to keep Nigeria one by all means. They don't care if the people are being killed. They don't care about the terrorism. They don't care how people are being killed and they're sacked from their communities. They don't care how people are being wiped out in that country. They don't care about the killings and the massacre going on, the ethnic cleansing going on in Nigeria. Rather, they prefer sponsoring this terrorism to continue for them to keep benefiting. And it's not that EU is not aware of this, to divide that contraption. And I'm sure once they noticed how desperate the Fulanese are with their quest for jihad, they are using them to terrorize the rest so that you keep mute and not talk about your freedom. The world is aware of all this and they pretend not to know the solution. So we must continue. This was on Christmas Eve and the attack resulted in 335 deaths, 171 injured, over 409 razed houses, and an estimated 18,275 people displaced. Did you hear that? EU is telling you that estimated 18,275 people displaced, whereas many of the displaced are currently living in a temporary camps with limited access to water, sanitation, food, medication, and their health care, including mental health services, whereas women have been disproportionately affected by the displacement crisis. This is coming from EU. This is not from Simon Ekpa. This is not from any IPO. This is from EU, as you can see on the screen. This is from EU. That is for you to know that they are aware of all this and they don't want to support Biafra exit from that contraption. Can you now see why we are telling you that the world really know what is going on, but pretend not to know? And that is why we'll keep putting them on notice. We'll keep putting them on notice, and we have created the highest awareness in the history of freedom fighting. They can't deny not knowing any of this. This is coming from EU. From EU for you to know that they are aware of all this and why we want to exit that contraption. They know that the terrorism, the backwardness, the ethnic cleansing, the massacre of innocent people, the marginalization is the reason we want to exit. It's not that Nigeria is a country. Nigeria is not a country. It's British business empire and they are all benefiting from this very business empire. They don't care how backward this business empire is. They are not even ashamed of themselves, even pretend. They are very shameless and very greedy. Look at the countries Nigeria got independence before. Look how far they have gone. They are years ahead of Nigeria. But because Britain is still in Nigeria, they are still the one ruling Nigeria indirectly through the Fulanese. Nigeria remains backward. Because once Nigeria develops, they can no longer benefit. Nigerians can no longer sell off their properties to apply for UK's visa. They can't continue extorting from the people's extorting money from the people through their visa and whatever it is you want to go and do in UK. They don't want Nigeria to develop. They want Nigeria to remain backward. Africa as a whole. So we want exit from that contraption, and they are turning blind eyes to it. But we are here. We are here to put them on notice. No, they can't deny it this time around. That is why we must keep putting them on notice. That is why you must keep sharing every update you get, because it's very, very important. They can't deny not knowing that we want to exit that contraption and the reason we want to exit that contraption. But we will, whether they acknowledge it or not. We must exit that contraption by the grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama, because he's in charge. Biafra is Elohim's project that no man born of a woman can stop. And they are aware of that. That is why they are panicking. That is why they are panicking. Britain is scared and they are panicking, lobbying around, bribing them with our natural resources for them not to support Biafra. But Chukwu Okike Abiama will deal with them. So let me read some comment from Biafrans. Let me read some comment. Here somebody said, would Biafra potentially become a member of this biased organization in the future? I don't think so. If they don't change their ways, we'll have nothing and have the interest of Africans at heart also, we have nothing to do with them, and that is it. Yes, for me, if they don't change their ways and allow Africans to develop the way they want to develop, remove their hands and their leg, their body, whatever, whichever of their body part that is in Africa, remove it. Stay on their own. Leave, let's leave. Stay on your own. Let me stay on my own. Allow me to rule myself the way I want to rule myself. Allow us to rule ourselves the way we want to rule ourselves. They must not be the ones making decisions for us. They must not be the ones enforcing or forcing leaders on Africans. Leaders they can control. Look at Niger. Look at all the African countries that chased the France out. Go and take a look at how they are doing now. A journey of 1,000 miles, it doesn't begin. You don't get there immediately. Begins with one step. Then you get to your destination. Some of you will be saying, "Oh, they're not." Go and take a look at Niger. Their aluminium, if I'm pronouncing it well, before I bite my tongue. France was, for you to see how wicked these colonizers are, France was buying it 80 cents, 80 cents, not even €1. Not even €1. And the actual price in Canada, I'm sure it's €200. Then, €200, and France was buying it from Niger, 80 cents, ripping them of €199. 20 cents. Did you hear what I said? A gram of aluminium, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, okay. The normal price in Canada is €200. It's more than that now. I'm telling you about then. And the France was buying it from Niger, 80 cents, ripping them €199, 20 cents. Did you get what I said? That is for you to know that these colonizers are very mean and wicked when it comes to Africa natural resources. Now they are buying it the normal price. Now Niger are now selling their aluminium the normal price. The leader there was nothing but a stooge, a puppet to the Europeans. He do whatever France asked them to do. All of them that was chased out, even the one that was telling you, "Oh, make noise, make some noise, make some noise." A man with a stroke, shaking. One part of his body is not working. He's telling you to make noise, not to pray an office. You are there dragging the people back with your shaking, with your one side. But these leaders are very wicked. You are telling people to make some noise. Make some noise for what exactly? Make noise that a puppet and a stooge was chased out of office. Well, we must continue. Another person said, what EU are saying, being layman terms, is simple. Okay, being layman terms is simple. That the Nigeria military are sending repentant terrorists to go and start creating insecurity in Southeast. EU are saying it will be better for indigenous people to police their region or state. Yoruba military to Yoruba land, Hausa military to Hausa land, Igbo military to Igbo land. You can't force yourself to protect people who don't trust you. Exactly. That is why we have Biafra Liberation Army. The criminal career agitator sold ESN. I was meant to flush out Fulani terrorist headsmen raping and killing our people, butchering our people in the farm. For now to Southeast, they're politicians that don't care about the people. That is why Biafra Prime Minister banned ESN and formed the Biafra Liberation Army, resistant fighters, Jaguar Battalion, Ubunigwe Battalion, and many more Biafra forces. So here another person said, Kama is a bitch. One good turn deserves another. UN, EU, USA, Biafra will definitely laugh last. Kudos to Bridgie and the BDF. Okay, another person said, the Fulani Dabinable Zoological Zoo is in a serious almighty mess. Exactly. Another person say EU resolution didn't care about the lives of innocent Nigerians, even if Boko Haram killed anybody. Exactly. They don't care. And that is why we will no longer cry to them for help. Rather, we are now doing the needful. We're not doing the needful to protect ourselves and preserve our lives also. Another person said here, we are already being protected. Our PM keep up with the good job. Being one of their members will be revisited in future. Okay, and that person said without Islamic agenda, they will not be able to sell their fire weapons. Okay, weapons equipment. So because of that, they will support Islamic activities. Same thing, 001 of America is doing, pushing nations to war so they can sell their nuclear weapons. And that person said they can't hide the truth forever. Exactly. So that is it, Biafrans. I will stop here. Biafra Prime Minister keeps giving them back to back. They haven't seen anything. Since they are aware of all this terrorism and all these atrocities and corruption, killing and the massacre of indigenous people, and pretend not to know the solution to it. The solution is Biafrans want to exit. We want to leave that contraption. Let them continue with their terrorism in that contraption. Let them continue with their terrorism. We no longer want to be there. Divide the zoo. They are pretending not to know what the people are talking about. Well, we must continue. Biafra Prime Minister is here doing the work Chukwuokike Abiama sent him to come and do. Since they kidnapped our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Chukwuokike Abiama disappointed them with their evil plan, giving us another strong man like Biafra Prime Minister. So we must continue. Don't forget to share, leave your comment at the comment section. May Chukwuokike Abiama continue to guide and protect Biafra Prime Minister, strengthening him more and more. Thank you all, genuine Biafrans all over the world, and our gallant men on ground. Victory will remain theirs in all fronts against the enemies of Biafra. Thank you all.